there's a rhythm like music, right? And a silence always follows a note, because if it didn't, we wouldn't hear the note, because we need the silence to hear the note. And so we may feel, because we've been brought up in this society, in this consciousness, that's been going on for thousands of years, at minimum, that opportunities only come once in a while and they're fleeting. But if you really look at that, like, there are opportunities coming to us every single day. But our perspective of the world and how we perceive or look at opportunities, our perspective of that, our belief of that, is what dictates whether we see it or not. What we in surfing, I started surfing some years ago, and there's a lot of great terms in surfing that apply to life as a whole, but this one more so in my career. It's called "Don't Chase the Wave," and what that means is that surfers there's a tendency when you paddle out, there's different breaks, there's different places the water breaks, and as you paddle out on the board, you choose one. You depending on how it's breaking, how fast it's going, how many people are out there, that type of situation. But they have a tendency that if you see all the waves breaking over here, you paddle over to that, and by the time you get there might still be some breaks, but maybe it stops breaking, and then you look over to your left or your right, and you see that the waves start breaking someplace else. So then you paddle over there, and by the time you get there, they stop, and now they're back breaking over here. They're to your further down to the side, and you can spend your whole day chasing the waves. And I did not learn this lesson early on. And one year I went to Hawaii, and I paddled out to the waves in Waikiki, and by the time I got out there, the waves stopped breaking, and they were breaking over to my right. So I paddled all the way over there. I was like, okay, I'll go over there. And by the time I got there, they stopped, and then they were back where I was before. And literally the whole day, I was just going paddling back and forth, and I was exhausted by the end of the day from just paddling back and forth. And I caught a couple waves, but what I didn't realize is if I would just stay there and go, okay, they're breaking over there right now, but they'll be back here. It's just flow, ebb and flow, that I can conserve my energy, and then when the waves do come, I can catch a wave. So I didn't. I was looking at, as we say, in life, the grass is greener, or we see it in investing. Like all of a sudden crypto takes off, so everybody chases down crypto, and then it crashes, and then all of a sudden stocks go up, so everybody rushes over, and it's this constant back and forth, chasing the wave, chasing the money, chasing whatever it is. And then I realized, like, we do that. I do that in my career, in my creative, whatever is popular at the time, because we want success so badly. And I get it for, egotistically, I get it, because it's like, well, finally I can say I'm successful, and, I reap all the rewards from that. And I get it creatively, because like, once you reach a level of success, you're able to do more opportunities come to you. You're able to play the roles that you want to play. You get to pick and choose. It makes things that are challenging starting out easier. It doesn't mean it doesn't come with its own set of issues. But in doing that, and in chasing down and looking over and seeing, look, everybody over there is having fun, or it seems that that's what's successful, so I'm going to do that. And we see it at all levels. We see it at the highest levels where, you know, and it's not always, I don't want to make it like it's a bad thing either, but we see studios like the table, you know, it's tilted now because now all the studios are making these massive comic book movies and series and things like that, because, you know, some, you know, they start to hit and they go, oh, there's money to be made, so let's start, you know, whatever, or the Me Too movement, or Black Lives Matter, or whatever cause, you know, whatever awareness is happening in the world. And, you know, a studio or an individual, whatever it looks like, could go, oh, like all the awareness is there, like let's, and I've done it, believe me, I've done it, let's write a story to participate and be a part of that. The problem with that is that if we do that, we're just following the crowd and we're not honoring ourselves. We're not conserving our energy, our creative energy, or our physical energy, or whatever that looks like, if you want to assimilate it with the surfing. But assimilate that, but we're not conserving that energy to then, when we have an idea that inspires us, not because it's popular, not because everybody else is doing it, or it has a high potential for success, but it's because it's something that really resonates with us. It's something that speaks to us at the core, right? Going back to my, you know, my surfing in Hawaii, like all those waves, the waves that I saw off to my side, they weren't my waves. They were the waves of all the individuals who were sitting there. My waves were coming to me, but I didn't catch them because I was so concerned about what other people were doing and what the success they were having, that I spent all my energy traveling, going against my first instinct, which was to, when I was paddling out, I looked at and I saw where it was breaking, and I said, I'm going to choose here. And so instead of just sticking that and going, you know, I'm going to honor this feeling, this my instinct, I went against that. And then I went over there. And then instead of, when I got there and they stopped and they started doing it back over there, instead of going, all right, like that didn't work out, but let me honor this, I was like, oh no, now they're over there. It's that fear of missing out. It's that fear of another opportunity is not going to come. But if we study human existence, not even human existence, universal existence, that we can look back as far as we can look back and see the cycles of things, we see that just like the ocean tide, it comes, it goes, like it may not come in, you know, the tide may not come in as far as it did yesterday, or it may not go out as far as it did yesterday, or it may not be as cold as it was last winter, or as hot as it was last summer, but it still gets hot, it still gets cold, the tide still comes in, the tide still goes out. There's as Alan Watts talks about, is like there's a rhythm like music, right? And a silence always follows a note, because if it didn't, we wouldn't hear the note, because we need the silence to hear the note. And so we may feel, because we've been brought up in this society, in this consciousness, that's been going on for thousands of years, at minimum, that opportunities only come once in a while and they're fleeting. But if you really look at that, like there are opportunities coming to us every single day. But our perspective of the world and how we how we perceive or look at opportunities, our perspective of that, our belief of that is what dictates whether we see it or not.